Hi everybody, I wanted to make a video about answering the question, does Battlefront 2 feel like Battlefield? And specifically, does it feel like the most excellent Battlefield one? My favourite game of all time, maybe? Because that's what I'm looking for. I'm on the fence. Well, I'm not on the fence anymore. I'm definitely going to be buying Battlefront 2. But I'm probably going to be buying it when it goes down a little bit cheaper in the kind of price wars before Christmas or after Christmas. So, does this feel and play like Battlefront 2? Battlefield 2, sorry. So first off, I thought I'd have a quick look at the classes. So if you look at the classes, we've got Assault, and the idea with this guy is that he comes with a thermal detonator, he can boost his health, and he has this shotgun, which is amazing up close. And he is a bit like an Assault player from Battlefield 1, which is great. Then we have our Heavy, who's really like the support player from Battlefield, because his abilities, he has this shield that he can pop, and he has a grenade, and he has this sentry mode, so he's very much like a guy with this big, powerful, fast-firing light machine gun, moves a little bit slower, that sort of thing. Now, the Officer is very interesting, because this guy, his main ability is to buff the people around him, so he can use his battle command to make all those around him be more powerful, but in this case through making sure that their weapons don't overheat. He has a grenade and he has a turret, but he's a bit squishy. And then we have the Specialist, who basically is the sniper, who can equip these special binoculars where you can see people from a distance through buildings. He has a shot grenade, and you can it's kind of special as you set him up for infiltration, where he gets a medium range weapon like a submachine gun, and you can run around and you can kill people. So although we don't have the complexities of Battlefield's class system, it's definitely here. Oh, and while we're here, actually, sorry, let me go back and look at the Heavy. You can also play with their different weapons. So let's get in and have a look at the game and look at the classes. Look at the graphics, sorry. And as you can see, this is Naboo. This is the Galactic Assault on Theed. This is the beta, so I haven't got access to any other big maps. We've got the forest on, but let me see if I can walk around without getting killed. Somebody just ran back that way, didn't they? As you can see, it looks absolutely stunning, but it has the feel of Battlefield 1, you know? Well, I guess Battlefield 1 had the feel of Battlefront 1, didn't it? With these lovely graphics, these big maps. Look at all this stuff that's going on. We've got leaves blowing, we've got birds flying into the air, and the sounds as well. Now, I've got the music off, because if I... Right, there's the transport. Oh. Let's pop my shield. And you can hear, you know, the guns sound great as well. Now, obviously they are laser guns. In fact, what we need to do is we need to pick this thing up. Oh. So it looks great and it sounds great, and the guns feel good as well. In Battlefront 2, let's swap to Assault this time. In Battlefront 2, the guns have definite recoil. You know, they're bouncing around as you're firing them, which is really good. Now, as far as movement goes, it's similar on the surface. You know, the fact, you know, you've got your strafing, you've got on some of the weapons you have aim down sights. As you can see, I'm in first person mode here. Lots of people might want to play in third person mode, which would be quite cool. Now, the big difference is there's no real mantling, you know, for climbing over things. Using my shotgun here. In the thick of it. I mean, that shotgun feels amazing to use. It just feels like you're running around with the hunter in Battlefield. So as I say, there's no like mantling where you pull yourself up. Let's get a grenade over there. Ooh. Because here we go. Because it's all a little bit more arcadey. Because all you can do in terms of hiding is obviously get around cover, but you can't go prone. Now don't worry too much about that. And you think, oh god, we can't go prone. it does mean that if you're in the open, you are a bit exposed. So say I was here, all I can do is I can like take a knee. But what the game does instead is it gives you a combat roll. So if you double tap circle, you can do this, and that's kind of a replacement for prone, and it makes the game a little bit more faster paced, because it means you can't just go dunk and hide behind something. Well, I can there, but you tend to have to roll to get out of problems. Now when you go to first person mode, don't worry, it doesn't make you sick, you just kind of do that. And unlike Battlefront's 1, you can combat roll forward and backwards. I think you can only combat roll from side to side in Battlefront 1. No real change there. So, you know, it feels different, but it's similar as well. You know, if you play around with your sensitivities, you'll find you can get this game feeling very, very similar to Battlefield. Now this is a big one, tactics. So the class you choose, I guess that's your strategy, and then the decisions you make how you move around the battlefield, do they make a difference to your success in the game? Or is it just random? A bit like, you know, like Call of Duty can be very random. It doesn't really matter what you do, you end up dying. And I can say absolutely in this game that the class you choose and the decisions you make, just like in Battlefield, will make a big decision. So now I've switched over to the sniper. Look at this. This is really cool. How cool does this look? And this guy, I can look through these special binoculars and pick out enemies. And I can switch back to my sniper. And so if I choose to hang back, I can definitely make a big difference and survive for longer and help my team in a different way. That mechanic you're seeing there is the overheat mechanic. Let's swap to my infiltration. I get my submachine gun. Let's get a grenade out there. So what I did there, I switched to my infiltration mode where I get the submachine gun, which allows me to get closer into combat. Go on, where are you? Ooh. So as you can see, it's very, very good in terms of you choose what you do and what you choose if it's appropriate for what's going in the battle at that time. It will make oh, you got me. Now unfortunately in the beta all we've got is Galactic Assault and Strike in terms of the infantry modes, which means that I don't know if we're going to be getting a conquest type mode. I'd imagine we will be getting a conquest type mode because we did get that in Battlefront 1, sort of. It was more like front lines. Now front lines in Battlefield 1 is very, very good fun, and it's one of my favourite game modes. So this particular game mode here, what happens is as a defender we've got to stop that big transport. Oh, there's Darth Maul over there. We've got to stop that big transport from getting to the palace by picking up these rocket launchers, and then after that we've got to stop them disabling the locks to the doors, and then there's like a flag. So there's like an escort stage, a defend stage, and then a final like all for nothing domination kind of stage. Where basically you're capturing a flag in Battlefield, and so it feels very objective based, which is very good. And although I can't really say at the moment, hopefully when the main game releases we will have conquest or rush type games where you've got more space to make your kind of own story. But at the moment you can see how big the maps are, and you can really kind of do what you want that's appropriate to the battle. Now the thing that is a little bit disappointing is the fact that you don't really have squad play although it's encouraging you to spawn in and stay near to your teammates, there's no real, that I can see at the moment, mechanic for that. In terms of you can't spawn in with squad mates. And there's no overall large map that allows you to. There's no overall large map to allow you to pick where you want to spawn. What does seem to be better, especially in this game mode, is it spawns you closer to the action than it did in Battlefront 1. So that is good. So I've kind of got over my. I really couldn't stand the fact that Battlefront and Battlefront don't have a very large map. So at this point, there's no map for me to choose where I want to spawn and who I want to spawn on. The game chooses where it's going to spawn me, which is at the back of the action. But again, this is closer, so that seems better. So, you know, the squad side of Battlefield is definitely missing. Now, they might put it in the main game. I don't think they will, because this is all about making this incredibly accessible. And I guess that's it as well. So, do we have any Battlefield moments that occur in the game? I'm going to say kind of. I mean, for me, the Battlefield moments are normally when the crap is hitting the fan, and there's like an aeroplane, you know, crashing. There's a tank rolling around the corner, and it's very cinematic. Now, although the game looks incredibly cinematic as you're playing it, it's very infantry based. What we've seen so far, similar to Battlefront 1. So the moments you have are really based around the fact that you're playing in Star Wars environments. And this is where, at the moment, Battlefront 1 is actually better, because obviously in Battlefront 1 you're playing as rebels from, you know, the first Star Wars Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, and you're fighting Darth Maul. You're fighting against proper stormtroopers, and that has a lot to say for it. You know, that really does make a difference as far as I'm concerned. So Battlefield moments, occasionally, when you get a really good flank on and you can move behind people, and you know, get a few kills in, it definitely feels Battlefieldy that way. Here we go, got the sentry gun, which is terribly underpowered, if you ask me. So we haven't got that. Now the final question has to be, is this fun like Battlefield? And I find Battlefield fun because the gunplay is good, it looks great, it sounds great, and the decisions I make with what I do in terms of the weapons I use and how I move around the map make a difference. I tell you what, they need some wet floor signs out on these tiles. They look distinctly slippy. And yes, you definitely get that. And like Battlefield, when I first started playing Battlefront 2, I wasn't sure about it, and I found it a little bit odd. And I remember that's how I definitely felt playing Battlefield for a long time. And that's a good thing. So if you picked up the beta and it feels a bit strange, you know, stick with it. And I think this is very fun to play. And I know the more I practice this game and the more I think about what I'm doing and practice with the weapons and watch videos about how you can play better, I will get better, and it's not just random all the time. Here we go, set up the gun. There we go, have a bit of minigun. You need a shield really when you're doing that. I think they need to do something with that. So anyway, overall, does Battlefront 2 feel like Battlefield 1? And definitely it does feel like it. If you like Battlefield 1, you'll like Battlefront 2. Just with the caveats that the movement is slightly different in the fact that you don't have prone. You do combat rolls, and there's no kind of proper mantling. You just tend to jump over things if you can and climb up things. Anyway, well, that's enough from me. If you've played the beta, or if this is after the main release, put your thoughts down below in the comment section. Oh, whoops. And if you enjoyed the video, hit like. If you want to see more of the same, Boba Fett there, press subscribe. Thank you very much, and I will see you again soon.